大家好，这里是美银会计师事务所。今天呢，我们非常的荣幸邀请到了胡律师来到我们的办公室，来向大家介绍一下如何通过注册公司，来保护大家的房地产，并规避一些法律上的风险。那么接下来这个视频，我和胡律师将以全程英文的形式进行沟通和交流。那么我们进入我们的第一个问题。Are you ready? So could you just introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Thank you, Alan. My name is Peter Hu, and I'm a San Francisco-based attorney. For the last 32 years, I've represented high-tech companies, importers, and distributors in legal matters and lawsuits throughout the United States, with an emphasis on trademark and copyright litigation. I have also prosecuted and defended numerous personal injury, wage, and employment discrimination lawsuits. I have represented over 500 clients and over 1,000 lawsuits, so I've been exposed to many of the legal issues and problems that business people face every day. I specialize in defending clients that have financial troubles, protecting assets, and assisting clients to become judgment-proof. In response to Alan's question today, I'm going to speak in English because it's often difficult to translate legal terms into Chinese.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hu. So in this video, I'm going to ask you several questions, and those questions are actually very common, and we are always asked by the clients when they come to our office and register a company. So as you can see, our topic is how to use LLC to protect their real properties. So the first question gonna be, how does formation a legal entity to protect their asset or real property?
Ownership of real property can create an unlimited liability and risk of a lawsuit for slip and fall injuries, inadequate security, and environmental contamination. So even if the property owner has liability insurance, if there's a serious injury or claim, the owner would be sued for medical expenses and damages above and beyond the insurance policy limits.
So Mr. Hu, what are potential risks for those real property owners?
Legal entities are like corporations and limited liability companies, which provide for limited liability of shareholders and members that can be formed to protect assets and businesses. Real property owned by an individual through such a limited liability entity are not legally deemed to be owned by the individual because the entity has a separate legal existence. An individual directly owns only an interest in the legal entity and not the assets of the entity.
Mr. Hu, today we focus mainly on LLC. So could you introduce what is special for the LLC?
Sure. LLC is the preferred entity for most investors, accountants, and attorneys. In addition to avoiding and limiting personal liability, there are also tax benefits, and accountant Cindy Lee can explain and provide more details on that issue. For example, I have 3 sons, and I can form an LLC to hold a piece of property like an apartment building. My wife and my 3 sons and I will own the property, and I will have 20% interest. Thereafter, after I pass away, my heirs can keep or sell the property or the membership interest. In addition, my grandchildren and other relatives can be added as members later. If there's a legal claim against the LLC, they can always form a new LLC and transfer property to a new company to avoid a substantial increase in annual premiums.
Well, Mr. Hu, if a legal entity goes bankrupt, will the real property owner be required to repay their debt?
It depends on the loan agreement. Usually, the lender is a secure creditor and can repossess and sell the collateral, and the lender will require the owner to personally guarantee or co-sign the loan. So, if there's a still unpaid debt, the lender can take legal action to sue the owner for the unpaid balance.
So, what's the issues should be paid attention to when owner forms a LLC?
I advise clients to have the LLC hold only one real property, even though you have to file an additional tax return for each LLC that you form. Because if the LLC owns several properties, one claim can increase the insurance premiums for all the properties. In addition, the lender will probably require that a separate LLC be formed for each property.
Mr. Hu, you mentioned that the lawsuit against the company will increase the insurance premium. So do you have any advices on the choice of insurance?
Yeah, for each LLC or corporation, a $1 million general liability policy should be sufficient, unless the lender requires a higher amount. If the LLC or corporation is only a holding company, a standard policy should be adequate. Most insurance carriers will offer a standard policy depending on the LLC's business activities. 30 years ago, the insurance carriers would offer smaller policies like $500,000. These days, they have standard policies, and the amount should be $1 or $2 million. So, the last point I'd like to make is that if people are interested in forming LLCs or corporations, they should contact an accountant, CED, for details and figure out how to restructure these deals and to minimize personal liability.
Thank you, Mr. Hu, for your time and the information you provided today.
My pleasure.
Okay, so that's the end of our video presentation. So if you enjoy this video or have any other topic you're interested in, please subscribe us and share your suggestions in our comment sections. Thank you for watching our video presentation.